did the God of the Bible co-sign and accept human sacrifice? It is one of the most disturbing stories within your Bible, but it has a lot of interesting aspects of it as well. So what I'm talking about is the story of, in Judges, the story of Japheth and his promise to God to sacrifice his daughter as he would any other burnt offering. So in order to understand this story, you need to go and read first the stories in Genesis as far as Abraham and him and his slave wife Hagar, as well as reading this story within itself and understanding multiple aspects of it. So the first thing is that we have this story of Japheth, who was born to as a Galedite. Now, he was born as the son of a prostitute, in the same way that Hagar was the slave wife for Abraham. And one of the things that you will find in Judges is that it is the retelling and rehashing, but adding their own twists and spins to stories that were already told in Genesis, in the same way that the story of Lot is told. It is also later told in Judges, but with slight twists to make the story more enhanced. So just like Hagar and Ishmael were kicked out so that they would not receive inheritance, so did Gilead's wife tell him to kick out Japheth so that he would not receive the inheritance after she had her sons. So he was expelled. Now they changed the story up at this point. So he goes and he joins because he was a mighty warrior, according to the story, and he goes to the land of Todd, almost like Nod, and he goes to the land of Todd and he gets up with some other mercenaries, a gang as they say in this book. And when he's with that gang, they become a force to be reckoned with in the Levant area, in this Levantine area. So then, once the Gadites are dealing with the Ammonite kingdom and they're about to go to war, they come to him and say, hey man, we want you to fight for us and become our commander, and then you'll become the head of us. And he's like, I don't trust y'all. Y'all kicked me out. Y'all hated me, just like God hates Esau. But then, yeah, you want me to fight for you. What promises do I have? And they said, oh, well, we promised on God that we gonna let you be the king, let you rule, let you be the man as far as the Gladites are concerned. So he agrees. Then he sends a message to the Ammonite king. And when he sends this message to the Ammonite king ignores his message. But in the message, within the message, he recognizes that the Israelite people, or the Gladites in this case, were Hellenistic people. Because he states in his message that if your god Shamash were to have given you land, would you not take it? So why are you being disgruntled because the God of Israel has given us Ammonite land? The God of Israel has given us Moabite land. Why would you have hate towards us and trying to retake this land and blaming us for taking this land when our God gave us this land? Because if Shamash gave you land, you would take it as well. Therefore, he is recognizing that Shamash is a deity, and Shamash does help the Ammonite people to win battles and so on and so forth. So they were henotheistic people, recognizing that other gods do exist, but those are the gods of other people and those are not their gods. So there are many gods in the Bible that are recognized, and Shamash is one of the bigger main gods other than Baal that is recognized throughout this Bible. As I said, this story has some interesting aspects to it. So then we get to the heinous parts of it. So Japheth then decides, hey, God, if you were to hand the Ammonites over into my hand, then the first thing that comes out my door to greet me, I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering. He clearly says, as a burnt offering. Now I want you to think about that for a second. Will a pig come out and greet him? Now a dog might, but will a pig, will a goat, will a lamb come out of his house to greet him? What is going to come out of his house to greet him other than a child or a pet or a wife. This man had to know that when he returned home from battle, most likely his wife or his daughter is going to come out and greet him, since the daughter was his only child. So he set up to either murder his wife, most likely, but was shocked when his daughter was the first one to come out. Now, he made the promise. So it is not that this guy commanded him to do this, but he made the promise. This guy then co-signed the promise by saying that, all right, I'm going to hand over the Ammonites. And he handed over the Ammonites. After he got home, his daughter is the first one to come out. He tears his clothes. He's upset. That's why I think he wanted his wife to be the first one to come out of here. I don't know what she was doing, but he wanted to kill his wife. He ain't like that lady. And I guess he didn't want to get a divorce. So he wanted to MDK his wife. So his daughter comes out. And his daughter says that, hey, look, what's up in there? If you made a promise to God, then you got to uphold that promise. But I just need 2 weeks. 2 months. Just give me 2 months to go frolic in the woods with my girls, a little girl trip, so we can weep and cry. And then in 2 months, I come back, and then you got to do what you got to do. So he agrees to let her go and frolic for these 2 months. Now, as it definitely shows here in your Bible, after she frolics for these 2 months, crying and weeping, having a girl trip, she comes back. She's still a virgin. And he sacrifices her as a burnt offering, as he had promised to this God. Now, this God, according to this, must have been so impressed with his faithfulness that he then allows, in chapter 12, allows for Japhet to go off and to MDK other tribes, the tribe of Manasseh and the tribe of Ephraim. And so this guy does co-sign it by giving him further battles that he wins after he sacrifices his daughter. So this guy, most assuredly, is willing and loves and accepts his human sacrifices. This is why it's no surprise that he will sacrifice himself as Jesus, as a human sacrifice for the sins of all these people. This is a horrible story that shows just how evil this God is concerning the life of an individual person, the agency of an individual person, because this little girl had no choice. Her father made this decision and she can't do anything about it. Many Christians try to say that, well, no, she couldn't get married because she said she would never marry. Yes, of course she would never marry, because she was sacrificed as a burnt offering. She's not alive. She has been unalive, so of course she's not going to get married. But he said that he did her like a burnt offering. What else do you do to a burnt offering other than kill it and burn it? Drain all the blood out of it and burn it. Wave some pieces of meat in the air like you don't care. So, yeah, that part. Now, I've argued this point when I was a Christian to many pastors and so on and so forth. And I also, just as a little thing to start some arguments and to get all my people who just hate the Masons, as a Mason, I argued this point as well, because there's an aspect of this chapter 11 and 12, especially 12, if you guys know what I'm talking about, and even 11, of where we see certain rituals that people have made videos about. And in those videos that were leaked out or scammed out, they take a more Western American sexual mentality towards it, not realizing what the Masons are actually demonstrating with this ritual that occurs in certain lodges, only certain times of the year. But for my Masons out there, if you know what I'm talking about, you should know 12. You should know 12. You should know 12. So give me a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about as far as 12. But if you know what I'm talking about as far as the leaked videos that people misunderstand, then give me like two or three thumbs up if you actually understand that one and know that one, how it's based on chapter 11. So anyway, y'all have a great day. And always remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.